Hello, I'm Britt Udison, Executive and Artistic Director at the Loft Literary Center. Welcome to this live stream at Virtual Wordplay. I'm so glad you're here with us. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about what brought us here today. For the last year, the Loft staff has been working hard to put together an outdoor book festival that would have gathered 100 authors with 10,000 visitors in our neighborhood in downtown Minneapolis. As COVID-19 hit, we knew we had to think about everything we do differently, especially this festival. While we were disappointed that we wouldn't be able to gather in person, we became even more committed to supporting writers, celebrating new books, and finding new ways to assert the connective power of the written word. In a time of anxiety, we want to offer a powerful event for readers, writers, and booksellers. When we first approached our sponsors, their first question was, what is a virtual festival? And to be honest, we didn't know. Our founding partners, St. Catherine University and Star Tribune, agreed to make a leap of faith with the Loft. With courage, generosity, and vision, they have worked alongside us to figure out what this virtual festival might become. We are grateful to our sponsors and donors. Their generosity is incredible, but it is not enough. We believe it is essential, especially during a health and financial crisis, to offer programs that are free and accessible to all. But that has led to a significant revenue loss. A live event would have included ticket revenue, beer sales, exhibitor fees, and additional sponsorships. The Loft is not closed. We continue to offer classes, fellowships, conversations, support for readers and writers in addition to this festival. We are here to support the literary community, and we ask that you continue to support us. If you are able, please consider making a contribution to the Loft today. Thank you for being here.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for another literary stretch break as part of the Loft Literary Center's Wordplay Festival. This morning we're really excited to be featuring Lara Mimosa Montes reading from her forthcoming collection of poetry, Thresholes, out from Coffee House Press later this month, or I guess it's not May yet, in May. You can pre-order and purchase this book by clicking the link below on this video. And you can also learn more about our upcoming programs this week. We have a really packed week by visiting our website. I'm going to turn it over to Lara to read some poems from the collection. But if you have questions, we're going to be taking a few after this reading. So if you want to submit a question to the Q&A at any point during this reading, you can type that into the little chat function if you're watching on Crowdcast, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever, and we will add those to the queue. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Lara. Take it away.
Thanks for that intro, Rachel. Hello, my name is Lara Mimosa Montes. Thanks to Star Tribune and St. Catherine University. I'm going to be reading from Thresholes, which you can buy from Coffee House Press Direct. There should be a link that you can follow. Short excerpt, so I'll read for 10, take a few questions, and yeah, thanks for being here. Hope everyone's doing well this beautiful Monday morning. I'm still in Monday mode. The moment I saw the sea, not the land, Daily, I remind myself the future is not dependent on your inability to describe your undoing. In the red notebook I carry always, a blank 25-cent postcard of Silver Rock, Cannon Beach, Oregon, a small black and white photograph of a cattle crossing taken from behind the dashboard of a car facing the oncoming cattle caravan, and another postcard featuring an image of the seaside city of Atami, part of Asako Narahashi's series Half Awake and Half Asleep in the Water. The barren coastal scene captured in the postcard of Silver Rock resembles the beaches of Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal and suggests despair of a spiritual origin, while the other's oncoming catastrophe by way of some fatal accident, such as death by stampede or drowning. I have never, to the best of my recollection, been subject to a Rorschach test, not as a child nor as an adult, but trust that if there is a life for me to be lived between these images, then these words would be my attempt to describe it, that which fails to coalesce, a form, and the chalk that outlines the holes. In Jack Garfine's Bronx Noir, Something Wild, Mary Ann experiences a sexual assault at St. James Park, 2550 Jerome Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10468, upon leaving the Kingsbridge Road subway station. The film is based on the 1958 novel Mary Ann by Alex Carmel, whose first sentence begins, "One night in March, on her way home from chorus practice, Mary Ann Robinson was raped by an assailant whose features she could not make out in the darkness." The novel revolves around this trauma that Mary Ann cannot in language own. Back in the Bronx, bedridden, I think about the conditions that have led me here to this moment. Why am I now so tired? It's mid-October, but I refuse to believe I am suffering from what is probably just a cold. I consider the day before. In passing, I mentioned to an acquaintance whose mother lives in the Bronx that I am staying at a place off of the 4 train near Kingsbridge Road. I assume he is as unfamiliar as I am with the area, but he catches me off guard. "Have you been to the park nearby? If not, go. There where the violence is. Inside the soft tissue holding. Wild flowers like wild parts of me always desiring. And unfolding to speak of you beyond the rewriting. But how without a body?" Upon walking through St. James Park, I noted a sudden internal rearranging of the parts. But this is not at all cinematic, I thought. Aside from the film, I had no memory of now in a huge garbage connects these as I sorting through it, I could finally say, this is why that happened. This is how I got here, that ligament torn. It was not an address to which I wished to return. The first day I met H, I ordered over $30 worth of food at a nearby cafe. What I ate unmemorable save for what I drank. Soda of rosemary, spruce, juniper, and sage. Can I trust H to help me, or am I too far gone? I took another sip of my drink and thought of Ankawara. I am still alive. But feeling alive was causing me problems. The past few months, I had become increasingly disturbed by the idea that I did not deserve to live, not because I didn't want to try, but because I imagined I wasn't very good at it. To which H would respond, "Say more about that." I have never been a happy person. I have just been. And for whatever reason, just being felt inadequate. Then R died, R with whom I danced, R with whom I once lived. He was the same R who continued to seek me out even as I acted towards him somewhat distant and uncertain. After R died, away went my focus. I didn't lack the words so much as feel overwhelmed by their direction. Where were they carrying me, and what you are where your ghost lives? Living in 2 places at once, Minnesota and New York, caused me to feel as though I did not live anywhere because no one ever knew where I was. As I finished my soda, I began to read on my iPhone an essay published earlier that morning by an author of notable repute. I held my breath and saw a stranger pass. That violación que casi me destruyó. Some people felt that to say so in print was an anticipatory gesture, a smokescreen for something worse. I thought of my friend A, the novelist, and if it is, I followed you into the nothing, and then was. Having failed to arrive at a recognizable point in space lacking direction, I was therefore lost. Why did I feel inside the wreckage that even if I was with you, I was also so alone? At the corner of 193rd and Jerome, I worried as to whether or not it was at all possible to know myself outside of that photo of the young girl surrounded by concrete, brick, wire, and stone. Because as you touch, you are being touched, reflected the choreographer Morgan Thorson in an interview about her latest collaborative dance work with sound artist Alan Sparhawk, titled Public Love. And if touch is a stand-in for something it is not, back in Minneapolis, 3 billboards downtown feature a cluster of hand, body, and garment. And in plain white text, read the words public love. Somewhere between advertisement and public art, the gesture is reminiscent of Felix Gonzalez Torres, who said to me in a dream the April before you died, "This is not about representation. It's not even about touch. Give me a body I can in language throw around the waiting but before the alarm." Upon rewatching Something Wild, I hit pause to consider the image of Marianne's cross and the crisis of loss. How a violation can sever the soul from the body and make ruin where there was once a sense of belief, beauty. In an interview, the director Jack Garfien says his ambition is to depict through his film the experience of a person who has undergone a trauma. Unable to recall Garfien's exact words, I oscillate between verbs. Undergone, underwent, suffered. I am not confident in the ways I want to describe or in the ways I try to remember. I hesitate over my desire to connect with others, particularly Mary Ann, a fictional character with actual feelings. I stuttered at the thought and abridged the text. What if we are part of the black and blue, the changing angle of the sun? I began to feel a persistent misalignment in my face. Stop eating so many raw almonds. Sit up straight. Buy a bike guard. Meditate. When I tried to describe the sensation of others, I felt inept. I use words like broken and asymmetrical. But my jaw feels out of place, I complained. In the mirror, it appeared deviated. So on the recommendation of an acupuncturist, I made an appointment with S, who specializes in intraoral neuromuscular massage therapy. We met a few weeks later in an exam room at a clinic I sometimes visited. Have you ever experienced a trauma? She asked. It was such a direct question, I had to recalibrate. Did she mean specifically in regard to my face? Like a car accident? No. She then stepped out so I could have a few moments alone to undress. I lay face up on the heated table and pulled the sheet up as far as it would go. Naked, her question gave me pause. Had something happened to me once? S entered the room again. Do you mind the music? A binaural tone, then a swerve. Like cymbals, the touching was percussive. I registered its movement, a bilateral progression. And upon the morning after, I was thrown. S had this manner of bringing me to the edge of my pain so that no matter what I had experienced a session before, I was still able to return and continue in the work, even when certain sensations were, upon the lightest palpation, unbearable. I was motivated by curiosity more than anything. How would I change if I had to some necessary spiritual obligation? Doing work, I'm learning that in order to live, I have to learn how to transition from one state to the next. That's my timer. So thanks for listening. Again, that's from Thresholes, and it'll be out May 12th, but you can still pre-order from Coffee House right now. So, questions from people listening in?
Well, thanks, Laura. I have a few questions here. First, I'm wondering if you can talk about the experience of researching for this book, because it was born of like a fellowship where you did some like on the ground research, right? Going back to like a place where you'd like previously or grown up, and what was the experience like of kind of combining that personal and kind of research-based work that went into this? Looks like your connection might be a little bit spotty. I'm going to see if Laura comes back. It seems like her Wi-Fi might be cutting out a little bit. In the meantime, you can go buy her book while we wait. There's a link to go buy it somewhere here on this page. Go get it. It's a good one. You just heard it. Let's see if we can get this Wi-Fi back. If not, oh, maybe. Maybe there we go. Maybe not. Not sure. We can take some of your questions and maybe publish these in a blog post later on. But I'm not sure if we're getting our connection back, so we may have to close this out early. I'm going to see if Laura is able to establish her connection again in the next 10 seconds. But if not, thank you so much for joining us for this reading this morning. Wordplay is brought to you by the Star Tribune and St. Catherine University, who are presenting sponsors. And you can pre-order Lara Mimosa Montes' book Thresholes. That's out from Coffee House Press in May. There's a link to purchase it on our site. And while you're at it, if you could throw a few dollars our way at the Loft, it makes programming like this possible throughout Wordplay and also throughout the year. So thanks so much for joining us. Sorry that we lost Lara there for the Q&A, but I hope that we can get some format of a Q&A to you all in the next day or so. Thanks for joining us.